Hello, welcome to this week's Seeds of Generosity video. Every Saturday, I gather here with you to talk about ways to be generous, dig into God's Word about what He has to say about being generous. And also, I would love to invite you to take a look at the description or the comments. I have a free PDF that I just created today for you with a list of best donation items. And you'll find out why as we get through this video. But you can get that free PDF for some of the best donations, most needed items in the description or in the comments below. So let's dig in. Today we are looking into Proverbs chapter 14, verse 31. He who oppresses the poor taunts his maker, but he who is gracious to the needy honors him. Being gracious to the needy is honoring God. It's bringing him honor. And what more would we want in our life than to honor God? So today we're going to talk about some ways to be gracious to the needy and bring that honor to God through that. Some of the places that we're going to talk about are like food pantries and homeless shelters, women's shelters, clothing closet or giveaway places, pregnancy centers, or also like resource sharing ministries, kind of like Orphan Grain Train, Samaritan's Purse, Compassion or World Vision, all those places that take items to needed places. So our first thing is you can volunteer at these places. Go and serve at them. They are almost always looking for volunteers to help run those programs and those ministries. This is a great way if you don't have a lot of money, but you've got some extra time, or you want to do something as a family. This is a fabulous opportunity to bring your family to serve together, your church family to serve together. This is a great way to grow, build those relationships. When you're serving together, there's just a special bond that happens during those times. So volunteering together at some of these places is a fabulous way to be generous to and gracious to the needy. One that we just recently did as our homeschool group, we went to Orphan Grain Train and we got to pack boxes. The younger kids, we took a whole variety of ages. So check with where you're going, and you may be able to take young kids and adults and older kids as well. That's what we did with this group. This literally was like 4-year-olds all the way through high school, and then of course some of the parents as well. So the younger kids, they got to box up some donations. So they were boxing up quilts and blankets, and then also they boxed up a bunch of stuffed animals. Of course they loved that, but we sorted through them. So that was our job, is we sorted through those items and saw what would work, or some things that still needed washed or cleaned. And it just, they had different restrictions on what they could or could not send. So we boxed those up, taped them closed, labeled them, and sent them on their way. And we got through so many things with all those kids, young kids, and they were having a blast. The older kids actually went and helped unload a truck and got all of that off of there. So they were a huge help that way as well. So this is, like I said, a great opportunity to volunteer just as yourself or with your family or with a group. Another option is giving to those places. Obviously, money is a fabulous way. They're always in need of more money. And I think we all know that, right? But there's also, they usually have a list of items that they could really use as well. Sometimes they have it printed somewhere or posted somewhere online or Facebook or something, somewhere they have that available. Some are just small and don't have that necessarily, but they may have, if you know what they go, I highly suggest checking with your local places before you go to donate, because all of them are different. Like I see so many for food pantries that want cooking oil, and they want, cake mixes and all these different cooking supplies. But honestly, our local one, it's usually like ready to go meals. They don't, a lot of the people that get from our local food pantry don't cook a lot of full meals or baked goods or anything. So they actually prefer, think like Chef Boyardee SpaghettiOs or something like that, or your canned stews, different things like that. Your They really like the sugary cereals too. That's another one. But just a lot of your food stuff, but also don't forget, very, very popular at food pantries, at shelters, all of those places is your personal care items. So your toothbrushes and toothpaste, your deodorant, your soaps and shampoos and conditioners, even your pain medicines and cold medicine, those types of things. And then cleaning and paper supplies are huge. These are a big one. And these are popular at all of them. It's one of those things that even if they do cooking or they don't do cooking, they all use paper products, correct? And then also when we get into some of the shelters, or like I said, the like the orphan grain train, like what we did, you get into like quilts and blankets or bedding, and your clothing and your shoes. And like I said, we did the stuffed animals, the orphan grain train, and I know a lot of the shelters do as well. Like a backpack and school supplies is another idea as well. Something really fun. So if you have a talent, a skill that you've developed on making things, or you just enjoy putting together things. When we were at the orphan grain train, one of the stories that I remember that I absolutely love, and I forgot the numbers, I wish I could remember the numbers, but when we were boxing up a bunch of the quilts and blankets, so many of them were brand new. So we were curious, we're like, how did you get this many brand new quilts? And they have a group that gathers, it's a quilting group, they gather together and they make quilts together, and they donate, I am not kidding you, I want to say it was 50 or something every single month. That's insane. That was so impressive. I loved it so much. So if you have a talent that you could share in that way, that's a fabulous way to donate. Or if you have a group of friends that loves to get together and do things, look on their websites, talk to people that work at them, find out some of their kits that they do. Like the Orphan Grain Train has a backpack kit. They also have, I want to say, a feminine kit as well. But they have very, very specific things that can or cannot be included. So you want to check on those things. But that would be a fun project for a women's get together, to put some of those together and just visit while you're putting those together. A great way to involve community in that as well, because you know I'm big about women's community and just being in community with others as well. So that's a great way to do that as well. And pregnancy centers is another one. Pregnancy centers can always use baby items and maternity items and stuff as well. With all of these, like I said, check with your local places first, because all of them do differ. Some of them need other, specific items more than others. Some will not accept certain items. Some items they'll only accept brand new. Other items they can take gently used. But check with your local one. Donating items, donating money is always a great way. And like I said, it's also a great way that you could bring together community and do that together. So a win-win situation for sure. And the last one, well, no, not the last one, sorry. The second to last one, organize and put on a fundraiser or donation drive. This is a great way to do this as well. It brings awareness about the ministry, so you can share that with other people, especially if it's not a well-known one. I help with the baby bottle fundraiser that our local pregnancy center does. I absolutely enjoy getting to volunteer in that way because I don't have a ton of time, but they're far enough away that we're a distance, but there's several churches that in our local area that love to participate. And so I'm that transport person. I bring the bottles down to our local community, to the churches that participate in that. And then once they have collected them after the collection time is up, then I deliver them back to the pregnancy center. So volunteering in just a way like that even is another example of how you can just make use of your time. It does not take me very much time to do something like that, but it makes a world of difference because somebody else doesn't have to plan a trip. I do it because I'm already going to that other town, and then I'm already going to our local town too, so I can be that in-between person pretty easy. It's simple on my part, but it makes a huge difference for both the churches that want to participate and the pregnancy center as well. The last one, pray. Pray, pray, pray. Pray over these ministries. Pray that their needs would be met. Pray that God would just work through them to bring the gospel and the good news to so many people that are hurting and need to hear about his love for them, even in the hardest of times. So that is definitely not the last thing you should do. It should be the very first thing you should do as a generous person and somebody that is gracious to the needy and the poor. Pray. Pray, 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 and pray again. Pray, asking God how he wants you to work in those ministries, how he wants you to help and be gracious to the needy or the poor. And then go take action. But pray for them. Pray for your action steps on where you should take place, be helpful in those ways, and pray for those ministries. Pray for the people that they're serving as well, that they would just, their needs would be met, and that they would feel the love of Jesus Christ in and through that ministry. I hope that this was helpful on this Seeds of Generosity video. I just love going through God's word and finding all he has to say about being generous. And I absolutely love coming up with ways and sharing them with you, because God calls us to be generous so much. And I would love to hear your ways. I'm always looking for new ways to be generous, because I don't think we can ever outgive God in our time or our money. And so I would love to hear some of your suggestions on ways to be generous as well. Again, check out the description or the comments and find your free PDF download. Print it, easy to print. It's a 2-page on some of the best and most needed donation items. We will see you next time. Have an absolutely fabulous day. Bye.